Hey friends, welcome to the part 22 of this playlist. We are looking at real questions on AZ104. This is the YouTube handle. You can look for various playlists on Azure, AWS, Google Cloud. You may subscribe to this channel to stay tuned to the latest content. There is a link in the description. Click that, become a Cloud Kernel or Cloud Ninja member to gain access to the paid content. Now let us jump into this question. You have an Azure subscription, and in the Azure portal, you plan to create a storage account, storage one. And what are you doing? You are giving these settings. So there are few settings like performance, replication, access, tier, hierarchy, namespace. You are setting this up, okay, with these values. Now you need to ensure that when you change the account kind to blob storage, something needs to be changed here. What is that? So there is a sequence which is usually followed for changing these settings. So the sequence is as follows: performance setting, access tier setting, hierarchical setting, and then replication setting. So first, should we consider performance setting? See, for blob storage, the performance setting should be standard. It is already standard in this question. We are seeing this is already standard, so we should not change it. Then what should we modify first then? So after performance setting comes access tier. So then access tier is something which we will modify first. By default, it uses hot access tier, and currently it is set to cool. So we should change this cool to hot, otherwise it will not work with blob storage. See, we are clearly telling you, if you have set it to premium performance, you have to set it to standard. But access tier, it should be hot to align with the intended purpose of blob storage account kind. And one thing which is important is you should ensure the backup of your data and perform thorough testing before making any changes to your storage account settings. This is very important. So a lot of places people are marking performance as an answer, but performance is the first thing we should change. But here we should not change because performance is already standard. So we will have to change access tag. So this is the next question now. You want to do a easy copy. An easy copy from where? From this blob container to this file share. You have to do a easy copy. And you should identify authentication method for each account. Now these are the different authentication method. See, anonymous, nobody, no sane person with proper mind will use it. So that is wrong. See, OAuth we use because if you are trying to deal with something like Facebook or some other social media platforms and you have to interact with those, then we use OAuth. Storage account access key. We, in this case, we could use storage account access key. We can use shared access signature. But what is the difference? The difference is storage account access key is permanent, and it provides full access, full grants to the blob storage account. What if you don't need full access? Why do you want to give full access? This is against the best practice of giving minimum privileges. That is why we should choose shared access signature for both the blob as well as file share. Here, this is temporary in nature. It provides restricted access. Storage account access key provides full access. It is permanent in nature. Shared access signature is temporary in nature, and it provides restricted access to the blob container. That is why this would be the answer for both the storages. Now let us jump to the next question here. You have a storage account. You are adding 10 blob containers to the storage account. For one container, you need a different key to encrypt your data at rest. See, if you want to encrypt your data at rest, out of this, what will you use? Simple thing. Minimum TLS version. This is used for encryption in transit. What is TLS? TLS is a cryptographic protocol. This is used to provide secure communication over the network. That means over the network, secure communication means in transit, in transit. So when you modify the minimum TLS and the communication is happening between client application and Azure services, you are basically telling, hey boss, I have a higher version of security and you have to comply with my higher version of security. But this will work only for encryption in transit. SAS, we already saw. SAS we are using because if one Azure resource wants to access other Azure resource and the access needs to be temporary and then restricted access, not full access. Here we are not talking about access. We are talking about encryption of data at rest. That's why A is wrong. And rotating access key is also not required here because you don't have the key itself. We are asking for the solution. The first step. The first step is you create an encryption scope. So creating an encryption scope, what does it mean? You are referring to the process of defining encryption settings and key management. Encryption scopes are used to configure and manage encryption of data at rest. Simple thing, that is exactly what our question needs. With encryption scope, you provide following properties. You are setting up the encryption key, you are selecting whether you want customer managed keys and so on. Then you are using which encryption algorithm you want, such as AES 256. Then what are your target resources? Is it data lake storage or SQL databases and so on? That's why this would be our final answer. I hope you have understood the concept behind this. This brings us to the end of this part. Please subscribe to this channel if you have not yet. This will help you clear the certifications. There is a link in the description. Click that, become a Cloud Kernel or Cloud Ninja member, gain access to additional content which is paid, but it is very important and it will give you additional edge to clear the certifications. By the way, this is the YouTube handle of this channel, 650 plus videos. Stay tuned, stay focused, keep preparing.